Welcome to Cindy's Bookshelf. I picked a special story to share. It is titled The Dinosaur Who Wanted to Fly. Written and illustrated by Michael Salmon. Wilbur was a triceratops, one of the most famous of all dinosaurs. There was something very different about Wilbur. Wilbur would spend hours and hours just looking up at the pterosaurs as they flew high above him. Wilbur watched the pteranodon glide, and he watched the small pterodactyl as it swooped down from the sky to snap up insects in its jaws. The fact was, Wilbur had a secret. He wanted to fly too. But it wasn't a secret for very long. The other triceratops caught him running down a hill as fast as he could, flapping his arms and trying to fly. When they saw him fall over his tail and land in a heap, Wilbur's friends were worried. When Wilbur told his friends what he was trying to do, they just laughed and said, "Wilbur, you are a triceratops. You are not a pterosaur. You will never be able to fly." But Wilbur had a new idea. He climbed to the top of the tallest tree fern that he could find and picked 2 large leaves. Wilbur waved the leaves as hard as he could, and then he jumped. Kersplat! Wilbur landed headfirst in soft mud. He just missed an ankylosaur. Wilbur would not give up. He took out his drawing board and his best piece of charcoal. He then sat down to design some wings that would really work. Wilbur worked all through the night. In the morning, Wilbur's wings were ready, and he proudly showed them off. Then he dragged his wings up to the top of a cliff, high above the sea. Wilbur tied his wings to his arms, ran to the edge of the cliff, and jumped. Kersplash! Wilbur's wings did not work, and elasmosaur lifted a very wet, sad triceratops out of the water and put him on a rock. Wilbur decided he would never be able to fly. He put his designs and his wings into a large sack, then dragged them up to the top of a small volcano. "I'll get rid of them for good," he thought, as he tipped the sack into the volcano. Just then, a strange thing happened. As Wilbur emptied the sack, it quickly filled up with hot air from the volcano. The sack started to rise above Wilbur's head. Wilbur grabbed the sack, but instead of Wilbur holding the sack down, the sack lifted Wilbur up. Wilbur couldn't believe it. He was really flying. The hot air sack carried Wilbur high above the forest and over the swamps. "What a view," he thought. The pterosaurs that flew by were amazed. They couldn't believe that a triceratops was flying. As the hot air in the sack cooled down, Wilbur descended gently towards the ground. By this time, a huge crowd of dinosaurs had gathered. The dinosaurs surrounded Wilbur as he landed. Wilbur was rather shy at first, but he was very happy when he saw how proud the other dinosaurs were of him. "Wilbur's the bravest dinosaur in the whole world," they said. When Wilbur went to bed that night, he knew that being the only flying triceratops was not the safest thing to be. But it had been fun, he thought, and with that he fell fast asleep. That's the end of the story. If you would like to hear more stories from my bookshelf, visit Cindy's Bookshelf on YouTube. Hit like and subscribe, and don't forget to hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on new stories. Cindy's Bookshelf can also be found on Facebook and TikTok. Links are in the description. If you would like to see or purchase more stories from the Dinosaur collection, visit Michael Salmon at www.michaelsalmon.com.au.